Video shows a glimpse of what life was like for WNBA star Brittney Griner inside Russian prison. She spent her days carrying fabric because she was too tall to sit at the sewing tables where other prisoners worked. Her bed was too small for her 6'9" frame. Griner was arrested back in February for traveling with hashish oil, a substance banned in Russia. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in August. Her release part of a prisoner swap for Victor Bout, a convicted Russian arms dealer.
Hold on. Brittney Griner is being accused of assaulting Caitlin Clark while incarcerated in a Russian male prison. This is not your typical sports headline. This is a major scandal. Caitlin Clark, America's sweetheart, was just elbowed on live television by the most controversial star in the WNBA. However, what came next? You won't accept it. You will be completely shocked by it. It's all about who she is. Oh, and we will discover everything. However, it seems that Brittney Griner is a man. Physicians are taking over, and what they're disclosing about Gurrier's medical background has shocked the entire league. We are discussing voice patterns and bone structure. Being back on the court for a real game and everything was pleasant. Instagram videos that should never have been made and AI scans. Is Brittney Griner the person she claims to be? Did the WNBA conceal it because they knew? I assure you that this goes far beyond basketball. And because this could be the biggest scandal in the history of women's sports, Griner is in a panic. Stay tuned because what we discovered could completely alter your perception of the WNBA. Let's go back to that pivotal moment. Mercury versus Fever. It's a high-intensity match, but in an instant, it becomes personal.
Caitlin Clark did not back down when the Atlanta Dream got chippy with her. Especially Ryan Howard was trying to get on Caitlin her nerves, but she kept cooking her. And they were face guarding her the entire game like she was prime Steph Curry.
There's a lot of bumping and like that. There's some words between the two players as Nas Hillman quickly.
And at the end of this altercation, you can clearly see Caitlin Clark say, "I'm not scared of you." And Howard continued to be provocative. And after Caitlin drew this offensive foul on Brittney Griner, it looked like she was pretty annoyed with her.
Brittney moved.
And here she gets clearly fouled. And again, they were chirping at her afterwards.
Shooting 31. They came in the season. Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark finding a way to...
And here, Brittney Griner picked up her 6th foul and had to sit for the rest of the game. You could clearly see what she was saying.
Talking about earlier today.
Not only does Brittney Griner mistreat Caitlin Clark, she launches an elbow without hesitation. It wasn't one of those bumps in the heat of the game, either. No, this was calculated. Through your screen, you could sense the tension building. Despite stumbling, Clark did not strike back. She continued to play. However, social media did not overlook it. People began enlarging Griner's face. After that, it exploded. Fans' fears were validated by lip readers. In front of millions of people on national television, Griner mouthed trash _ to a white girl. Here's the thing now. In basketball, trash talk occurs. Everyone is aware of that. However, this went too far and became more hazardous, racial, and ugly, and the league has yet to respond. No outright offense, no declaration, no penalty, nothing. As if they were blind to it or unwilling to confront it. Fans, however, were not going to overlook this. The spark was simply the elbow. A barrage of inquiries ensued. And what was discovered later extended the scope of this tale far beyond the basketball court.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Okay, this is where it starts to feel like a documentary on Netflix. Experts in sports medicine suddenly began to offer their opinions. No, they weren't discussing Griner's stats or playmaking. They were discussing her biology. Physicians, therapists, and even AI analysts started examining Griner's physical characteristics, including her shoulders, bone structure, and rate of injury recovery. As one expert put it, that's not typical for a female athlete, especially not at this level.
The women have a league. As far as I understand, it's mostly women without penises. But I leave that to you to figure it. Well, it's actually a little unclear because this Brittney Griner, a lot of people think she's a dude. But in any event, Brittney Griner is a black basketball player who some people think is a man. I don't know. I guess she's a woman. Let's just say she's a woman. Here's a chick, a black chick. Brittney Griner's a fine player, I suppose. We'll get to that in a minute.
Wasn't hostile. It wasn't trolling. Professionals were highlighting something that had been missed or perhaps even concealed. The buzz began at that point. In addition to doubting the elbow, many questioned whether the league had ever adequately verified Griner's eligibility to compete in the WNBA. Should the league disregard concerns raised by doctors? Let's discuss receipts. Because everything in the modern world leaves a digital trail. Gurrier's old Instagram story reappeared. Other than the fact that she was topless in this picture, nothing new. Just there for the world to see, with no blurs or surgical scars. Here's the worst part. Instagram did not remove it.
Flag you. Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the hell out of here, yo! Yo! Jab stepping. It's the brick. Swing and a miss! Oh! Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Swag is down for
All right, we can stop it.
If you are familiar with Instagram's AI filters, you are aware that they are highly effective at identifying nudity, particularly that of women. However, this particular filter was active for more than 2 years.
Yeah, so let's talk about it, guys. Again, allegedly, it could be any number of things, but my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity.
It either failed to identify female anatomy or the algorithms were flawed. Consider that. Her gender was not recognized by the AI system of a billion-dollar corporation. What can we infer from that? Can AI make mistakes? Yes. Do you trust it more, though, than a sports league that won't say anything? What's worse than a scandal, you ask? A deception. And this is beginning to feel like that. The WNBA has remained silent. Nothing in the way of a declaration, explanation, or apology to Caitlin Clark. Imagine now that the roles were switched. Would the league remain silent if Caitlin had racially insulted Brittney and elbowed her?
She gets bodied, dude, like NFL linebacker style.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. Clock her ass, man.
Yeah, black women hate her.
Dude, I don't even see like LeBron get battered like this.
Yeah.
And he, like, somebody has bad breath and they breathe on him and he goes flying back.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually spoke out for black women. This is a black women's league.
Yeah, she's like a leftist.
She's like a cuck for black women.
Yeah,
and they beat the crap out of her.
She's like, well, that's what happens when you cuck out to people. They don't respect you.
Well, I think she did it to hope to get their respect. Yeah.
They're not
That is not going to work.
Look at this.
You getting way too much attention. You making all this money and endorsements. They're jealous of you. She's like the face of that league.
Yeah, and she's the only person like really putting butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely. Not only is the silence strange, but it's also suspicious. Fans are also intelligent. We observe what is taking place. Even if it means disregarding medical experts and literally letting a player like Clark suffer the consequences, the league is defending its reputation. If a league ignored this, would you continue to watch? All right, let's return to the doctors. They conducted a thorough checklist based on years of expert observation rather than in a lab. Skeletal structure, muscle composition, recovery rates, and voice patterns all indicated the same thing. Furthermore, this is not typical of female elite athletes. Even her history of injuries sparked curiosity. The majority of WNBA players require time to recover from physical strain. Gurrier. She bounces back like a linebacker in the NFL. It's not shade, either. That's science. Complete biological verification, chromosome testing, hormone analysis, and bone density scans are now demanded by medical professionals. Fairness in women's sports is important, not because they want to embarrass anyone.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going. He played on girls' sports teams because his papers said he was a girl. He had to keep pretending in college, stay in women's teams, and now he just has to keep barely pretending to stay in the WNBA. But in all other ways, he lives life as a man. He wears men's clothes, dates and married a woman, has masculine features, and takes masculine roles. If not for his mother's insanity, he would be a mediocre male player in the NBA. And honestly, that may even be a little bit generous.
Every athlete ought to compete on an even playing field, right? This is not just about bones and bruises. Experts in mental health have also intervened. Additionally, what they're witnessing is disturbing. That slur, that elbow. It was more than just basketball. It was almost icy control. That's more than just rage. It goes deeper than that. Some claim it has to do with hiding from something significant, living a double life, or identity stress. It erupts when that pressure accumulates over time. Sadly, Caitlin Clark ended up serving as the outlet. Now picture yourself as Caitlin. You put the league on your side as a rookie sensation, and then a veteran attacks you in front of millions of people. What message does that convey to all the other young ladies involved in the sport? If this is what the WNBA defends, what kind of culture is it fostering? Let's discuss actual repercussions. This isn't just a debate if Griner's biology doesn't align with the regulations for women's sports, as all this medical talk suggests. It might be a scam. Imagine losing your Olympic spot or college scholarship to an ineligible competitor. For some athletes, that is not only unfair but also the end of their careers. Attorneys are already murmuring. This may lead to an influx of lawsuits, according to some. There would be a whole different legal mess if the WNBA was aware of it. Are leagues legally obligated to uphold fairness?
I feel sorry for him because all of his success depends on him maintaining the lie he's lived with for his whole life. Of course, Russia gives zero shits and will treat him as the male he is. Maybe it'll be a refreshing change from him. And this is with, of course, reference to the fact that there was some speculation that Brittney Griner was actually put in a male prison.
The world has taken notice of this story. Olympic committees, soccer, swimming, and other sports organizations are observing this in real time. Why? Because every women's sport will have to deal with the same issues if the WNBA is embroiled in a scandal of this magnitude. What does eligibility mean to you? How is fairness enforced? How do you maintain the trust of your fans? This might establish a precedent. Do you think this will affect how women's sports are run generally? If the league ignores it, it tells the world, we care more about image than integrity. Let's be honest. For years, the WNBA has worked hard to gain some attention, develop a fan base, demonstrate the legitimacy of their product, and break attendance records. And just when things were starting to get better, this mess falls apart. Brittney Griner, a top-tier player, is caught elbowing the biggest rising star in the league and maybe concealing biological advantages. Nothing like it ever occurred with the league crickets. It's not just a bad appearance. That is a simple crisis.
And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's through no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balled. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being fourth in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Players are whispering behind closed doors, coaches are keeping quiet, sponsors are anxiously observing from the sidelines, and some fans are already tuning out. This is more than a scandal. It's a ticking time bomb that has the potential to destroy everything the WNBA has been attempting to construct. Consider it. Years of progress could be undone by a single controversy if it is handled poorly. That momentum has vanished. And for what purpose? Defending a single player at the league's expense. This is the crucial question. Does the WNBA finally own up to its mistakes? Or has the harm already been done? Look, this is far from the end. The elbow has been seen. The slur has been heard. The video has been released on Instagram. Healthcare providers are speaking up. The AI stuff is crazy. Griner remained silent. Not even a tweet. She's either hoping this goes away or working behind the scenes as an attorney. Let me be honest with you, though. It won't go away. Not now. Because people are concerned. Fans have had enough. The players are whispering softly. Sponsors are beginning to inquire as well. Not to mention that the future of women's sports is at stake. This is more than a league problem. It's a moment that defines culture. What now? Does the WNBA finally say something? Do they actually start an investigation? Or do they intensify their efforts in the hopes that we will all simply forget and move on? To be honest, you probably already know what the league will do. What we are going to do about it, however, is the more important question. Will we also remain silent? Click the like button if you support women's sports, justice, and the truth. This isn't just drama, so share your opinions in the comments. It surpasses basketball in scope. And we're not finished yet. Thus, don't forget to subscribe more. Truth bombs are on their way.